Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself. You'll see. I'm back. I have returned. I am home. Now, as you know, I was planning to be in Gran Canaria for about for about 3 months. And I got about 5 weeks in and stuff like that. Now I've seen, literally in that time, I've seen all of Gran Canaria from pretty much top to bottom, Las Palmas, all the different bits and bobs between then, Maspalomas, and this beautiful place called Morgan, yeah? Which is this lovely little kind of fishing town and stuff like that. So what I might do is I might, at the end of this video, I'll probably just tack on a little bit, maybe one or two bloopers, particularly from my experiences with Neptune, which you guys may well have seen. I wonder if my camera's slightly squiffed. I'm just like, let me just adjust that down a little bit like that. Well, it wasn't quite level. And but why did I come back earlier? There's lots of stuff to talk about. We as humanity at the moment are going through some really big changes. We're having some big shifts. A lot of the big planets are changing signs. Now, for those of you that follow Western astrology, Western astrologers have been talking about this quite a lot, but of course they're 24 degrees ahead of the sidereal placements. But what I find is with the sidereal, because it actually represents where the physical body of the planet is, this is often where we can get these kind of concrete manifestations and stuff like that. So I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter. Yep, because Saturn's just changed signs on January 17th, 2023. Neptune is going to change signs on February 22nd, 2023, so that's coming up. And then Jupiter is going to change signs near the eclipses around about, I think it's the 22nd of April, 2023. So we're going to be seeing big shifts. So why am I home? The reason why I'm home is because it was mission accomplished. You would have seen on a couple of Hogarths back. Do you remember when I started talking about Neptune? You remember the camera just went off, and then I was turned into an artwork, like one of my self-portraits when I was talking about the details. So when I talk about Neptune, I'm going to have to be very, I can't reveal too much. Yeah, I cannot reveal too much. And yeah, let's leave it there. So, we'll return to Neptune in a minute. But also as well, Gran Canaria is not a massive island as well. I got to see a lot of it, but also as well, the flat that I was staying in, it was like sort of like an internal flat, and there wasn't much sunlight, and it was actually starting to affect my eyesight. Now I've been back for pretty much a day now, and my eyesight's starting to improve already, but I've been working a lot kind of without natural light. And of course, even though most people think, oh well, you're on holiday, yeah, you're going to the beach, blah blah blah, well, actually the sun didn't shine every day, and I was still working full time. And in fact, that actually brings me to something. There's been very interesting. Now my clients will know this, so anyone that's had a consultation with me recently, you can write this in the comments. There has been a lot, and I mean a lot, of technical interference when I've been essentially trying to do consultations with my clients. Zoom not working properly or taking ages to upload. Then when it does upload, my camera going funny. You would have seen me turning sort of like some of my clients, I call it like the Andy Warhol moment, where the screen will go yellow and black and white, and I would just literally look like a screen print. And that was with my more sophisticated camera. Had to stop using that, went to my more basic camera on my laptop. That was fine for a while. And then same things started happening again. I want to give a shout out to Annabelle, and I want to give a shout out to Harry, who both had consultations with me today. But the one with Annabelle, I couldn't actually proceed. We had to reschedule because my camera was chopping out so much. And what I've realized is this. when I tune in with the planet, I'm like, what is going on? When I tune in with the planets, what they're saying is that I need to cut back on consultations. Yeah, I know. I do a lot. I do a lot each year, hundreds. Yeah, I do hundreds of consultations. As you guys know, in March my channel will be 3 years old. So I'll just say hello or something like that. But basically, on the 30th of March, my channel is going to be 3 years old. So again, this is where the big journey happened for me. Saturn has now changed signs. He spends 2.5 years in each sign, but by the time he's done everything, it ends up being sort of like around about 3 years in terms of like his transit before he fully moves. So that means that section, and you'll all see this, everyone, you notice how the energy is changing. Saturn is that planet of our day-to-day tasks, our work, our karmas, how we show up in the world. That's why he's also connected with the career, duties, responsibilities, etc., stuff like that. He's now moved out of my 7th house. So anyone that's a Cancer ascendant like myself, or anyone in the world, Saturn has moved from the 7th house, which actually deals with the public and business interactions, services of all kinds, exchanges, all of this kind of stuff, has now moved into my 8th house. Now, does that mean I'm not going to have a relationship with the public anymore? No, of course not. But the emphasis has changed. And what is happening, because all the planets are changing very soon, and they're changing signs, etc. Essentially, when it comes to my one-on-one consultations, they're starting to block those because they're like they're trying to bring a balance in. Like, this is like, Harry will know this, he was saying this to me as well, very psychic guy, very gifted, and we're looking at his chart and other stuff. But when he tuned in, he said, look, they're trying to balance you up, because what's happening now is that, and the upgrade and the update also as well I got from Neptune, is that now the time for books, writing books, creating courses, teaching people in that more formal sense, that time has basically arrived. And when I just tune in, they're saying, what I've learned over the last 3 years now has to be shared with an even wider audience, people that may not even necessarily be that, who may not have heard of Vedic astrology or anything like that at all. And when I look at my chart, the transits, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, the time is coming. So Saturn is coming into my 8th house, so for all Cancerians, and coming into the 8th. And if you would have seen please watch my Saturn accountability video. And the 8th house comes under Aquarius, yeah, for all Cancer ascendants. And do you remember I said when Saturn moves into Aquarius, we're going to be talking about technology, things to do with the skies, governments, this, that, and the other. What has it been? The Chinese balloon that everyone's been talking about, but we've also had the unidentified flying objects, because guess what? Aquarius deals with outer space, science, tech, innovation of all kinds, deals with aliens and stuff like that. There was even a report on CNN today, I think it was today, or actually Edie, she sent me the link, where they were looking at Jupiter, where they found Jupiter had even more moons. So he's got 92. There was a brief period where Saturn was considered to have the most, and now Jupiter's come back to say, actually, by the way, I've got the most. Yeah. So do you see, we're already talking about space. Watch out as well for, like I said, Betelgeuse might go into supernova this year. We'll have to see, but it could be soon. They're expecting, but we see it already. And this is the power. Of course, Western astrology still works, and any astrologer that's talented and gifted, irrespective of the methodology they use, they can arrive at the same place. But isn't it interesting? I said on the 17th of January 2023, when Saturn moves into sidereal Aquarius, we're going to be dealing with all of these Aquarian themes. Boom! 1 week in, this object, that object, we're going to see lots of stuff. Governments, how they use tech. We're going to be moving to where you're going to have governments that are going to be getting involved in cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. Just get ready. Like I said, it's going to speed up. Everything's going to ramp up. There will be accountability as well for people you see already, for like Duck Larange and that lot. More stuff coming, but also as well, you may be surprised who's in the news. The accountability that people will face will be interesting. All things, man-made things as well. Remember as well, Aquarius is all about science, innovation, tech, creating things, but it's also about human rights. Like I said, we're going to be seeing lots of protests around the world as people start fighting for their human rights, because they may consider the shadow of Aquarius is elites. So people are going to be fighting for their rights, fighting for pay, etc. Look at the UK, strikes everywhere because the ordinary people are struggling. So you're going to see this tug of war going backwards and forwards, but hopefully the rights of the many will succeed. This is the fingers crossed by the end of this 2.5/3 year transit. So I wanted to talk about that. So, you know, even though, you know, I'm an astrologer and I do all of this stuff, and, you know, I still have a body. Yeah? I have to obey the laws of physics just like everyone else. So now the planets are like, right, now it's about teaching. Teach everyone everything you've learned over the last 3 years. Now, for those of you that have membership with me, you know, I've got my courses, etc., and all that kind of stuff. You've been following those, but those haven't necessarily been public, so to speak. There's that. Also, as well, recently my website's gone down. Yeah. I kid you not, literally, my website's gone down. It should be back up this evening. But actually, I feel very calm about it because, again, it's the planets saying, stop. You need to do less of the consult, which I love doing. I adore doing consultations, one-on-ones. Everyone knows. If you look, you can just look at the reviews, or you can just ask people who've had a consultation with me in the comments and stuff like that. I love doing that. But it does take an immense amount of energy because each person is a new soul contract that I read. Many people come back and we look at all these different things, and it's been absolutely extraordinary. And there is so much that I've learned that is not in the books. Yeah, not in the books, but utterly consistent. And it's like the planets are like, stop that for now and actually go over there. I actually wrote a book over lockdown, which was about the UK. And it's provisionally titled Fourth House Issues, Why the UK Struggles with Love. Yeah. And it's a psychoanalysis, cultural exploration, and real-time unfolding of astrological phenomena in the UK and what makes countries like they are. However, there is a book that has to happen before that. And this is the book that I have to write now. Yeah. And this is the book where I'm going to share everything that I have learned directly from empirical experience by doing hundreds and hundreds of consultations. You know, I average about 350 a year. I kid you not. You know, I try and divide up my week so I don't get too busy, but it means I'm doing at least, you know, 9, sometimes even to 14 consultations, you know, per week, give or take, and I have a little break here, a little break there. So it's not all you guys might think it's all, you know, sunshine and gallivanting around. No, it's a tremendous amount of work. And the consultations aren't short either. Most of them are at least an hour, and then some of them are 2 hours, but they can often be more than that. So you can think that it's a tremendous amount. And although I'd love to kind of keep going at that pace, the planets are going, no, stop. Time for the books. Neptune, who I can't say too much about, but you've seen the various effects that he's had. He's about to move into my 9th house. So for everyone, Neptune is about to change signs, is about to go into sidereal Pisces. This is going to happen on the 22nd of February, 2023. So next Wednesday. Now, he's a very slow moving planet. It takes Neptune about 160 years to go through each sign. Yeah. or there or thereabouts, loose change. He spends about 14 years per sign. So when he's going to hit 00 degrees of sidereal Pisces on the 22nd, yeah, next Wednesday, but it's going to take a little while. Once he actually builds up his strength a little bit, once he gets to 1-2 degrees, then we're really going to see sort of like the big sort of like effects, particularly coming into, you know, April, May, you know, stuff like that. For all Cancer ascendants, he's moving into the 9th house. What's the 9th house? It's all about not only travel and foreign lands and languages and cultures and stuff like that. It's all about teaching, education. As you will have seen in my little videos, and I'll see if I can tack on a little kind of blooper video if I can, because Neptune basically kiboshed my main video about him. You will see when I was in Gran Canaria, when I went to Melanara Beach, his statue was right there. I couldn't figure out for the life of me what I was doing in El Calero. It's a throughway, it's a motorway, but there are 2 beaches nearby. One of them are both a half-an-hour walk. When I went to Melanara Beach, that's where I saw Neptune right there. I took advice from one of my clients because I was telling them about this phenomena. Yeah, and there was all sorts of phenomena happening live on the recording while we're doing it. And one of my clients, Ingrid, yeah, it was you. Yes, Ingrid. She said, look, go to that statue of Neptune on Melanara Beach, which I'll try and tack on to the end of the video if it's allowed. If it's not there on the end of the video, it means it just got squashed. Yeah, sorry about that. And she said, put your feet in the water, because water obviously holds information, memory and stuff like that. And she said, ask him what you can talk about, and, you know, things like that. Anyway, I took her advice. It was brilliant. Did that, and I got massive download. So for Gran Canaria, it's mission accomplished, because at the end of the day, there aren't statues of Neptune in the sea on Brighton Beach or in Bournemouth here in the UK. Yeah, we just don't have that kind of stuff. Yeah, the weather wasn't conducive, etc. and stuff like that. So I had to be there at that time to be able to receive. I had to be in that physical location to receive that message. And now it's about Crete. Yeah, oh my God, now it's about Crete and doing things to heighten the awareness of Neptune and sort of like create some kind of place where people can gather. But it also has to be about the sea, conservation of the seas, the oceans, the waters, islands, everything connected with water. That, and I have to either write about that in books or create some kind of place or whatever. This is the first time I'm sharing this publicly with everyone, but that's what I got. And I could have only got that if I was in Gran Canaria. And not only that, I could have only got that if I'd been in El Calero, which is just a motorway. Literally, there's nothing to, I mean, it's got some supermarkets and stuff. But when I realized that Neptune was down the road, and this is why he squashed one of my other videos where it was all this big expose, which I'm not allowed to talk about, because if I try again, the video might not go up. But what he does want to share is that we're going to see incredible leaps in psychic phenomena, yeah, of all kinds. Everything related to Neptune is going to become heightened. Why? Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces. Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. They're both going to be in Pisces together for a while until Jupiter moves out on the 22nd of April. All things related to water, spirituality, but also as well things like storms, hurricanes, cyclones, you know, that kind of oceanic stuff. We could see sea levels rise. I think this is also why as well he's wanting me to do this work, so that we can focus our collective energies on saving the oceans. If we save the oceans, we save the planet. It's as simple as that. Neptune is the god of the sea, father of the sea. It makes so much sense now why I was guided to go to that place at that time, because he's just about to go into sidereal Pisces. There's going to be a lot of people going to be having psychic dreams, The film industry, things to do with film, photography, movies, is going to be off the charts. Movies are going to get increasingly kind of like psychedelic and trippy. What's a good example? This is a perfect example of this, which is what is it called? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Yeah. If you've not seen it, it stars Michele Yeoh. If you have not seen this film, you got to check it out. I think it was a Netflix production, whatever. It is sensational. It's incredible. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it as well, and the guy who is it Jackie Chan? Yeah. Anyway, and then there's the daughter. Watch this film. It is one of the most crackers, mind-bending, over-the-top, psychedelic films that has ever been created, and it is fantastic. It's probably going to win Best Picture, or I'd be surprised if Michele Yeoh doesn't win Best Actress for it. She would be robbed if she. It was such an extraordinary performance. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is nominated as well, and it is just an incredible. That is a very Neptunian film. It's wild, it's crazy, it's psychedelic, it's trippy, it's otherworldly. It literally talks about other universes all coming in together. Mercury dissolves the boundary between those different things. Talks about all of that, but yet it's also about love, without giving it away. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Venus is the planet of love. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of things to do with universal love. There's going to be lots of progress in terms of animal welfare as well. Pisces is very much about animals, helpless creatures. The shadow of that is that we're going to have more crazy cults. There'll be some good cults as well, just saying. There'll be some good ones, but we'll have some really bonkers ones. Some people are going to tune out altogether. They will not be able to accept the reality, the new reality is coming. So they'll kind of like check out. Things to do with drugs and escapism and alcohol, yeah, could become an issue. But then there's also going to be a heightened spirituality. One of the things I want to say, and hopefully I'll be able to say it on camera without the video getting kiboshed, is one of the things we'll need to talk about as well is something called, I don't know if people are using this word already, but this is something I want to share. Deep fake. Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate too much, but what's going to happen is Neptune's going to become extraordinarily powerful. And in fact, he doesn't really want people to know how powerful he is. So I'm just going to keep stum on that one. But Neptune can also deal with illusions. Yeah, illusions, delusions, gaslighting, etc. We're going to reach a point where reality and illusion will be such a perfect blending of the two, we may struggle to differentiate what's going on. When we reach that point, because of course we've got AI as well, so let's not forget Uranus has been very strong in these eclipses and stuff like that. He's the higher octave of Mercury. Technology, he's also what? The co-ruler of Aquarius. So Uranus is getting more powerful as well. There's going to be this blending with tech where we see it. We already see this stuff with that, I can never remember its name, but it's this new search engine thing, and like you can ask it questions and it can create stuff. Oh God. I always blank when I try and talk about this. I always blank, but it's there. Yeah, it's in the news. People, you can ask it to write essays for you. You can write about any subject and it can do it. A friend of mine, Sarah, she asked it to create tarot cards, and it created these incredible tarot cards and stuff. It's extraordinary. It's happening. Humanity, we're not ready. The outer planets are coming into their own. This is also what I want to say as well. And I'll say it again. The outer planets are coming into their own. This is extraordinary power that we're talking about now. Good example, Pluto, when he went into sidereal Capricorn, that's when his physical body there. Now, of course, in Western astrology, they're talking about him going into Aquarius. Fine, yeah? But in terms of his physical body, that happened. Now, remember, what is Pluto? Pluto is about power struggles. On his lower vibrations, he's about the worst that humanity can do. You know, he deals with rape and pillage and abuse and ancestral traumas and all of this kind of stuff. Everything that's underground. He also deals with gemstones as well, just in case you were wondering if this was a real diamond. It is not. I mean, that would be about 200,000 pounds, but it's pretty close though. Not in price, but I found a brilliant place, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to wear this. We need to wear more gems, yeah? Pluto is about things underground, so he also deals with gemstones, oil. This is why, for example, Pluto can also deal with billionaires, but those oil tycoons or the people that dig up minerals out of the ground. Pluto is a big part of that. But Pluto deals with what? The underbelly, the underworld. Yeah. So to give you an idea, what happened when Pluto's body, because remember, all the planets have bodies. This is what I want to share in the books. They have genuine bona fide consciousness. They are deities. They're real. They are real. Just ask my clients, yeah? And I do consultation, and it's just like bang, 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 bang. It's just uncanny. So think about that. Also as well, Pluto deals with things like fascism and stuff like that. That's why I've been saying for a while, you're bored of me saying it now, been saying we're back in the time of the 1930s. This is why everyone's going, why is everyone acting this way? Why are we all the book banning, fascism and hatred and blah, blah, blah? Because there is a very high expression to Pluto as well, which is transcendental alchemy. Pluto deals with turning lead into gold. He's the composting. He is the metamorphosis. Pluto is when the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, digests and changes itself and becomes the butterfly. That's what Pluto is. But it can be a very painful process. One has to lean in to one's Pluto and truly embrace one's own shadow, before we look and point at the shadow of others. We have to integrate, not obliterate, integrate the shadow of Pluto, and that's very difficult to do. So most people project it out and go, it's their fault over there. Sometimes that is the case, but before we judge others, we have to make sure we've done that shadow work, or we might get the wrong end of the stick. We come prone to other people's power plays, because we're externalizing everything outward. Pluto is about that deep internal alchemy. But because of the nature of humanity, and we like shortcuts and stuff like that, we tend to eat Pluto is not only eating the low-hanging fruit, it's eating the rotting fruit on the floor. So what happened? Pluto moved into sidereal Capricorn, which remember deals with all things government infrastructure systems of all kinds, rules, regulations, top-down structures, etc. All of that stuff. And it moved in on the 1st of January, 2021. What happened 5 days later? We all know. Jan 6th. I actually predicted it, so if anyone's not sure, well, you guys know this already, but for anyone that's new here, and welcome, by the way, go back to look at my playlist, and I've just put a playlist together where I went, I've predicted blah, blah, blah. Just look at those videos. No one was talking about that. We weren't going to use the word insurrection because it had fallen out of common use because it hadn't been needed for so long. But one of the things I explicitly say in that video, I said Trump is going to go do something absolutely batshit. That's what I said. Crazy, because everything. And I said it's like he's going to stage some kind of coup. That's what I see. And I confirmed it. And I looked at his daughter's chart. I looked at Ivanka's chart. And when I did like a Christmas special on her, someone was saying, oh, I'm in love with Ivanka. It's whatever. Rubbish. No, I was looking at her chart and I said, when she hits 40, there's going to be some kind of legal matters that she's going to have to deal with her father. And I said, he's going to do something really, really crazy, because it was showing in her Navamsha chart, D9, manifest destiny, sometimes referred to as the second half of life, as I referred to it, kicks in when we're 40. It all coalesced together. So what I want to say is Neptune, Uranus and Pluto are increasing in strength. they are often dismissed or underestimated, and they should not be. I almost feel like I'm the spokesperson. No, I'm not. That's a ridiculous thing to say. I'm not the spokesperson in that sense. But it's kind of like their energies kind of come through me in the sense of I need to share. That's better. I need to share their natures, their true natures with everyone, because a lot of people go, well, they're the transpersonal planets and they don't affect us personally and all this kind of stuff, and they only change society. We're all like fish swimming in water. If the water changes, we all change. They are extraordinarily powerful, particularly as well when they make aspects or they cross over important planets, or they opposite or squares, trines as well. They have a very beneficial effect that way. So these planets are a big deal. Yeah, we can all feel the change, can't we? We can all sense. If you sense how it's all, all starting to move. Jupiter is going to go into sidereal Aries, like I said, on the 22nd of April. But before that, just before he moves in there, there's going to be the first eclipse of the year, April 20th, in Ashwini Nakshatra in Aries. Ashwini is all about speed. So remember I said things are going to speed up even more. But what is Aries? Aries deals with what? Conflict, war. Yeah, we've been having all these spy things going on, this, that, and the other. And you know how I've been saying, now I don't want people to get too scared about this, but you remember I've been saying the aperture of accountability is closing, because when Jupiter moves into sidereal Aries on the 22nd or thereabouts, remember he's a gas giant. What I'm finding is the gas giants can pull levers before they even enter a house. So he moves in 22nd of April. He's going to be in the latter degrees of sidereal Pisces. When we're looking at, when we're looking at March going towards April, particularly when he hits 25, 26 degrees, he can actually start pulling a lever. And what did I say? I said that we could see some big development in the world. It could be, for example, that maybe things to do with Ukraine and stuff like that. Maybe there's a crescendo and it comes to an end, or maybe it just heightens to a next level, or there could be some other kind of conflict scenario in the world that just puts all the stuff with Duck L'Orange and this, that, and the other, and everyone into some kind of perspective, and the whole world moves on in some way. I hope it is the case that the speed up is that the accountability comes quicker, and they really mean it, but they have to hurry up. As you know, look, you know the news cycle. Well, this is going to happen here. This is going to happen here. You know where I am now on this. I said, I want orange suits. Yeah, orange. I want people in being arrested, standing next to that bar. Yeah, that the thingy boards where it shows people's height with the mugshot holding the number plate. Yeah. It's time for accountability before this big energetic shift comes in, because my concern is that it won't be brought quickly enough, and events in the world sort of change, and then all of a sudden we're like, yeah, we can't have that. Yeah, so let's just see. So let's make sure that I covered everything. Oh gosh, that was quite a spiel to come out. Saturn and Neptune, blah blah blah. Yes, gas giants, yes. So Uranus, what I'm realizing, the outer planets deal a lot with billionaires. Yeah, this is what I'm finding. They deal a lot with billionaires. Uranus, all things tech, higher octave of Mercury. Yeah, that's your tech billionaires. That's your Jeff Bezos, your Zuckerberg, exactly. All of that kind of stuff. And again, for entertainment purposes only. But that's them, yeah, because of course Uranus is the future, science, cutting edge, tech, space, outer space, astronomy, astrology, esoteric sciences, the whole lot. And Saturn is going into sidereal Aquarius, which of course was gone into, which he is the co-ruler of. Rahu also rules Aquarius as well. You've got to remember, Aquarius is the most sophisticated sign. It's the most multi-layered, the most misunderstood. It deals with society of all kinds, humanity of all kinds, but it can also deal with elitism as well. The shadow opposite is Leo, yeah? And the shadow of Leo can be me, and me and mine, and exclude everyone else. Yeah, that's just part of it. So that shadow side expresses more in Aquarius. So we're going to be having what? Elites, a lot of billionaires, what? Trying to manipulate everything, which is what we see, using what? AI and tech. When Neptune goes in to sidereal Pisces on April 27th, and the ability to cast illusions becomes even more pronounced, we've got to be careful, yeah? However, when we go into the heart chakra, yeah, when we go into spirituality and we use the higher octaves of Neptune, and this is something that came to me the other day, which is this: sometimes to better perceive, we have to close our eyes and use the aperture of the heart. At some point in the next few years, reality and AI are going to become almost indistinguishable, but the way we'll be able to tell is to use the heart chakra to see if it's real or not, because that is always the ultimate truth. So look, it's not going to be, it's going to be a mixed bag. There's going to be incredible things, yeah? Let's just see here. So I said, yeah, Neptune, deep empathy, but we'll have some cults, deep fake, but we'll also have some incredible spiritual advances, particularly as well when it comes to relating to animals and the downtrodden. We're going to be having things spoken about like universal income as well. I've mentioned it before, but it will come back again. Saturn is moved into sidereal Aquarius, which is what? Society. Neptune is moving into sidereal Pisces, which is idealism. Yeah, the positives of that is this high idealism and altruism for the suffering. So if Saturn is going to be helping society and Neptune is going to want to help the suffering, that could be things like universal income, etc., stuff like that. Pisces can also deal with victims as well, so that many people may feel victimized by certain things. Again, I can't say too much. But it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a mixed bag. But what we need to try and focus on are these higher octaves of these planets. Even Pluto, remember, transformation, transmutation, self-sacrifice for the higher good, the integration of the shadow. A lot of us are going to be having to do a lot of shadow work. Yeah, we see it already. Yeah, because shadow's coming out, but people aren't necessarily doing the work. We have a lot of people acting out in terms of shadow, but this is going to be about going within and doing that alchemy within, that kundalini energy. Yeah, a lot of us are going to have to start using the kundalini energy, the meditative forces. We'll see how it gets there. Ideally, if it's self-initiated, that is the best, but some people may be initiated into these things where they're going to have to reach for those higher realms when we have to face some of the realities of the world that we've been avoiding. Yeah, Neptune is god of the sea. Jupiter is the natural ruler of Pisces. Yeah, Neptune and Jupiter rule Pisces. They're going to both be in Pisces at the same time, which is the oceans. So water, all water-related stuff, which could be floods or maybe droughts somewhere, storms, anything to do with moisture in the air will increase. And that can have some pros and cons and stuff like that. So we're going to be talking about marine life, sea life, icebergs, anything connected with the oceans. And that's why, in a way, where I've been told to make my contribution is something somewhere in the world, probably Crete. I'll have to see. I mean, look, this might just seem like a crazy pipe dream, isn't it? But I'm just sharing, yeah, because I'm being told that I have to share more of this secret stuff that I've learned, yeah? But that's going to be to do with conservation, like I said, the oceans. We really have to do that work now. We're not going to be able to avoid it. Neptune is going to be too powerful. Next Wednesday, he moves it, and then he's going to be there for 14 years, folks. 14 years of things to do with everything Neptunian. These are going to be extraordinary times. So let's see how that pans out. And just bringing it back to where my new focus is going to be. Now, for anyone that wants to book a consultation, I've been told my website should be up this evening. However, I might take, I'm being told to take 3 months off consultations. Yeah, I'll have to see, but that's the message that I'm getting, because I need to have time to sit down and write this book. It's already there in my head, and you guys would have seen the front cover, which is like this illuminated manuscript, gemstones and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah, Pluto, gemstones. And it's like I need to start working on that phase. However, if I'm doing less consultations, it means I can do more videos and stuff, particularly as well with my membership and stuff like that. So you'll be seeing more videos from me in terms of, you know, the people that you've wanted for me to look at their charts, etc. It means I might have a bit more time as well for different collaborations, stuff like that. But I need to make this time to do the writing, and I have to honor and respect what I'm being told. And because literally when I'm doing consultations, they are often now interrupted or interfered with or blocked. Yeah, or a person has to reschedule because there's some technical issues, because they're like, no, we need you to go over there. So Saturn in my 8th house, some people, you know, I call it the 8th house, the house of sex, death, and rock and roll. However, it also deals with Kundalini, transformation, astrology, all of that stuff. Yeah. So I've got the 8th Lord in the 8th house. Wow. Gosh, that's something. Then I'm going to be having the co-ruler of the 9th Lord, Neptune, in the 9th house, publishing, writing, distribution, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And then Jupiter, which is my official 9th Lord for Cancer Ascendants, moving into my 10th house, which deals with career and public duty and service. So it's all moving and shifting. Just got to go with it. Yeah, got to go with it. So I think I'll leave it there. I think I've spoken as much as I can on that. So just to recap, all things tech, yeah, be it in the sky, whatever, astronomy, astrology, UFOs, all of that stuff, it's now kicking in. I said it before in my Saturn accountability video. Just watch it again if you want. But many of you have watched that video. But now you can see, look, it's true, isn't it? It's true, obviously. So that is going to be a big theme and narrative, particularly governments introducing new tech. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to like it all, but there's also going to be huge tech innovations with healing and medicine, particularly as well when Saturn goes into the nakshatra Shatabishak, yeah, which deals with the sign of 100 healers. But there's going to be a lot of scrutiny of science and stuff like that and man-made things. That's all I can say. Yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah. There's so much more I want to talk about, but I'm not allowed. So I just have to leave it there. Neptune is going to be increasing everyone's spirituality. Yes, we're going to have people checking out being delusional, you know, things to do with drugs and pharmaceuticals, but we could also have amazing innovations as well. There could be new wonder drugs that come out, or we could actually learn something very simple. It could be that simple things actually are the biggest cures of all. Yeah. Again, that's all I can say. Yeah, that's all I'm allowed. Yeah, can't say more than that for now anyway. And then with Uranus, AI is going off the charts. I don't know if anyone saw, they created this little robot, yeah, which basically dissolved itself so it could escape prison. It's like, I know that just sounds bonkers, but they had this little kind of robot thing behind bars, and it was made of this metal. It dissolved itself like the Terminator. Took a while, and then recalibrated itself and was doing its thing. That is the tiniest bit of which we've been seeing. There's actually a whole lot more. So of course, you know, with my AI dream that I had recently, a lot of people told me, oh my God, there was this article, that article, etc. So it's all happening. Pluto is now doing his churn in Capricorn, which is what? Government, power structures, top-down structures of all kinds. We're going to be what? Pluto is going to be dismantling the traditional power structures, showing us maybe some of that darker side, but also showing us where we can transform and do our alchemy. but it's going to require shadow work. Yeah. And I really mean it. Just not just simply projecting out and just going, oh, they're the evil SOBs over there. People need to make sure they've done or doing their shadow work where they face that darkest part of themselves and don't try and kill it or shun it or shame it. Integrate it. I don't want to talk too much about myself, but I've had to do a tremendous amount of shadow work over the years. Otherwise, they wouldn't even bother with me. Yeah, they wouldn't bother. Yeah, those upstairs, the grahas upstairs, they wouldn't bother. Yeah, because I would have been too much in whatever. But I'm not saying it's easy either. It's been it's been a very long journey, really one from childhood actually. And I realized Pluto's been hanging around for a long time. I've got Sun and Pluto Cassimi. Yeah, Cassimi means Sun and Pluto are right on top of each other. So shadow work is very important, but it's going to come up as a theme, particularly as Pluto continues its transit through sidereal Capricorn, and where it will hit soon that 4 degrees and loose change. Yeah, in the USA's chart, everyone's been talking about what? The Pluto return. Yeah, now actually it's at 6 degrees. It's 6. Oh, I can't remember. It's the early degrees anyway. And I think Pluto, if I remember correctly, is around 3 degrees and loose change. Yeah. So he's going to go up. So this really starts to intensify through 2023 and particularly 2024. What's happening in the USA at that time? Wow, big election coming up. So that alchemy has begun. We can all begin to feel it, can't we? We're seeing the shadow come out in the world, and now it's like, well, what are we going to do about it? How are we going to alchemize this? Particularly as well, not only for America, because this is happening all around the world, but for America in particular is the only country at the moment going through this first Pluto return, which happens approximately every, 248 years or so. Yeah, he's got an elliptical orbit. You can call it 250 years, but it's a little bit sooner than that. But because his orbit around the sun is elliptical, sometimes he arrives there at a slightly different time, but it's coming. Yeah, so we see it all. So just to reiterate, big transformations for humanity, big transformations for the planets. This is the time to up our spiritual game, work on our shadow work, yeah, integrating our shadow, not trying to kill the dragon or whatever, integrating, learning to ride the dragon. Yeah, that's what I would say. We're all going to have to start learning to ride the dragons as our everyday life, reality and AI and illusion will all start blending together. Karma is going to start speeding up. Instant karma. Yeah, Aquarius is still a very fast sign. This is the Muller-Trachona sign of Saturn. Yeah, where he's in his office. He's karma's and accountability, so it will come quicker. Yeah, it will be as simple as that. So there's that. Trying to use technology to our advantage while not being hoodwinked at the same time. It's not going to be easy. We're going to have to use the aperture of the heart. Yeah, the Neptunian transcendence who dissolves the boundary between the physical world and the three-dimensional world and the realms beyond. So we're entering very intuitive times. Connecting with nature, music is going to be hugely important, as well as film, photography, etc. But mantras and vibration, there's going to be lots of stuff to do with vibration as well. Healing vibrations, modalities where people can be healed with sound. There's going to be all sorts of stuff coming out. So it's also it's not only challenging, it's also exciting. Yeah, exciting. But I just wanted to share the outer planets are really coming into their own, because they especially with the tech, the leader, the vanguard of all of this is pretty much Uranus, really. And when he goes into sidereal Taurus in 2025, wow, yeah, I mean, I doubt there'll be paper money still around. Let's just put it that way. Not that I support that, but there's going to be global currencies, e-currencies, all of this kind of stuff, but we'll have to see what happens. But overall, we're going through this massive upgrade, and we're going to be challenged to do our shadow work and our spiritual work and to forge a new relationship with technology that is healthy for us. But some people won't be able to step up to that mark, or some people will check out because it's going to be too much, or when certain revelations, shall we say, which are already happening, but when they become nakedly obvious to all, it's going to shift a lot of people's perspective. However, a lot of people are going to become much more spiritual, and we're going to see this kind of transcendent kind of energies come into the world, and the arts, music, healing, things to do with animals, AI, technology, outer space, astronomy, the planets, Kundalini energy, transformation, eighth house stuff, turning lead into gold, composting. All of this is going to be happening simultaneously. So watch out. But particularly when Jupiter goes into Aries, things are going to go whoosh like that. Even things, aviation, vehicles, horses, all of that kind of stuff. So get ready, everyone. Buckle up, as I'm always saying, but truly. And let's see how 2023 transpires as the year develops. So I hope you found that interesting. I'm going to try and add the little bloopers at the end if I can. If I can't, and it's just a normal video, then you'll understand why. Maybe I'll actually just upload this first and then I try and upload the blooper one. Yeah, just so I've got both baked. I will leave it there for now. I hope you guys found that interesting, but just to give you this overview of what is going to be happening over the next few years. Namaste, everyone. I will leave it there. Let me know your comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share, all of that kind of stuff. In regards to my website, let's just have a look, see if it's up there, but I may block out a certain amount of time. For all of you who've booked with me already, don't worry, all your stuff is still there, and I'm going to get to you, and I'm going to aim to basically stick to the schedule that's already there. But if we have to reset or reestablish because some technical difficulties happen, because literally my cameras have just been jumping all over the place, then it's you know, we'll just reschedule for another time. But hold tight, we should be all good. Right, I've said enough. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much. And of course, I'll see you guys on Saturday for another Hogarth. All right, bye-bye for now. Cheers. Well, hello there, folks, and welcome to Vedic Quickies. Today, we're going to talk about Neptune, planet Neptune. And here I am, I'm on Melanara Beach, and I just want you to see behind me, a certain someone is there. You may just be able to make out the statue of Neptune in the sea. What is Neptune? Neptune is a wonderful planet. Neptune is a planet of spirituality, of music, of talents, of gifts of all kinds. I need to make sure my trainers don't get wet. But he can also do, oh, you are joking. My camera, look at that. That is Neptune for you. I'm going to keep going. He's also a planet of deception and illusions and delusions. And whenever I try and do something special on this guy, guess what? He messes up my camera. So I'm just going to leave it there. And, you know, I tried my best, but there we are. There he is, Neptune. I tried to speak about him earlier, but the recording got kiboshed. Absolutely incredible. So I can't really say anything about Neptune because he won't allow it, but he is a planet of mystery, spirituality, music, all that is mysterious and hidden in the world. There he is, Melanania Beach. Anyway, and there he is, taking guard, or keeping guard of all the ocean. I just had some food. There we got the seagulls there, and there he is, absolutely glorious. And I didn't even know he was here down the road, but he made his presence known. So there we are, Neptune.